and took a position with respect to the resumption of schools in our homeland. This position, when made public, opened the floodgates for other communiques and has dominated discussions in our homeland ever since. Today, the leaders have come back to share their perspectives with their people in the spirit of transparency, inclusivity, and accountability. Before I hand over to Chaps to call the leaders in to make their respective, to share their respective positions, it is important to remind those participating in this town hall that the leaders are going to speak and be done with the discussion, after which other participants are going to be given the floor to ask questions. We're going to have a 30-minute question session, and we are also going to take questions from those watching through satellite television. So please, if you have any questions, just note them down and be very respectful. We have not come here to settle scores with anybody. We are trying as much as possible to make our quest for freedom as decent as possible. And so we aspire to have a beautiful country where there is respect for rights and the property of others. And so let us begin to live that country before we get into it. So one of the issues that we'll be asking today will be, does the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia Liberation Movement have an education board or control education curriculum used in schools? Why was it necessary to take a people-centered decision in the first place? Remember that the position that the position that the leaders took was a people-centered position. It was based on serious considerations for our people, and although the press release that the Consultative Commission released did not mention in detail those considerations, the leaders are going to come back today to answer those questions. How can people-centered decisions help to change the face of our liberation struggle? Chaps, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Fontaine. So I will just go ahead and indicate that we have several of leaders here with us today. We have Amber Comrade Chris, who's sitting right there. You can see him. We have Chairman Akwanga here with us. He's going to be coming in. I'm privileged to be right here with him. We have Dr. Florentine, who's here. We have and we have a number of other leaders who were present in that meeting, who would likely be joining us as we go along. Dr. Fontaine, in your own right, you were there and you were here with us. And we have other leaders here, so I want to certainly recognize all the leaders in our liberation movement. Amber Comrade Chris, I want to begin this portion there with you, and then certainly Chairman Akwanga is going to be coming in, and your peers would be filling up as we go along. So over to you, Comrade.
Is it not incumbent on us
Yes, Dr. Kwanga, come in, please, and follow
up. Good afternoon. I'm here with Barrister Chaps Mark. We are far away from North America. We're trying to do some work for the struggle. I'm going to speak from a different perspective. I want to thank Pastor Chris for what he said, because it is exactly what we had discussed before. I am personally concerned that I don't know what is going on, that every time we try to come together to reach a consensus as a people to resolve an issue, an individual or a group will decide to walk away and cause a total mess of things. At times, I used to ask whether it's a curse. And then I'll answer myself that, yes, it looks like a curse, the type of curse that my senior brother, Professor Anyangwe, has emphasized severally, that we are cursed people. I want to thank Pastor Chris, because when we met, that was actually, for me, my real first meeting with them, because I've always allowed these things for people to have the free space to do the job that we've asked them to do. When we met and this school issue came up, Pastor Chris had really wanted to go out. And he was able to listen to the rest of us to say, okay, no, we need to reach a common ground with some of our other fellow nationals to talk on how we can do this thing together as one. We should not be sending this continuous wrong signal, which has been done for so many years now. And he listened. I was shocked that when this meeting took place, one of our comrades decided to become a Trumpian. What do I mean? To go out and categorically lie about what happened during that meeting. And when an individual does that, that individual is trying to push the rest of us to go out and attack him or her, which is not what we are supposed to do. But that is what exactly the people are looking for, that we should go out and start rubbing ourselves in mud and the rest. This is not good at all. Because first, most of us are fathers, some of us are grandparents. And when we develop this Trumpian attitude of overtly lying, there are things you don't do. You don't come and sit into a meeting and then you go out, you want to pass out an information, you lie. You lie. I'm not going to use the word misspoke, because that is why these things continue. It is not good. And then the rest of our people will be blaming some others and say, oh, these leaders, they are always fighting. They are unable to categorically point a finger at that individual who is responsible for this. I am shocked. We were called names. Our parents were insulted. My name, Akwanga, is not my name. It's my father's name. So when somebody wants to address that name, you have to be very, very careful. You have to be careful, because if you rub it in mud, then you are definitely pushing me to pull out daggers. Because the least I can take is not for anyone to rub my father's name in mud. I try to be as respectful to people as possible, but that does not mean I will not be able to speak the truth. Now, let me put it this way. For a very long time, we've had this problem where individual entities, groups, organizations, or movements, they just do declarations for things to be implemented back at home. And most often, these individuals do not even sleep. They are not troubled by the suffering of our people. They don't understand the pain, the suffering. We stay in our air-conditioned houses, far away from homeland. We give control or command for things to happen back home without thinking of the consequences of these things. Without thinking of it. None of us runs the Southern Cameroons. Not one of us. Not one of us. The enemy is still entrenched in our territory. as much as we have proven to the enemy that they no longer have control of our land, the highest we have done so far is defiance. It's defiance. That is what it means. Because if somebody will write to Pastor Chris and say, oh, we should run an online school, if we were controlling our land, having a part of our land, we have created a cordon sanitaire where it is totally our land. We can do anything we want to do there, want to put out there. And then it becomes easy to start looking for maybe some countries or other institutions somewhere that will be able to work with us. But we can't do that now. So we are doing defiance. So just take, for example, a group is on the ground announcing the opening of schools. The Consultative. Nobody. Another one is out here announcing reopening of schools, giving a different date. And the leadership of that should be careful. We shouldn't go out with anything. Let us invite our other brothers to come so that we reach an understanding on this issue. It is not only the lives of these children that we are putting at risk, but it is that we are making ourselves look like fools. You don't have control of anything. You go out, you make communiques, you write them, you send audios. What the heck is wrong with us? What the heck is wrong with us? If you are running a place in Mumu, let me say Mbengwi, is totally under your control, and you go out and you want to declare school reopening in Mbengwi, you should be able to write a communique and say, in the areas I control, in the areas I control, schools will resume from this day and will end this day. But what are we doing? It looks as if we are fighting one another. Somebody is thinking that if I too don't act like a president, I don't go out and pass out this decision and insult people and do this, nobody will listen to me. We're not going to achieve anything. We're not going to achieve anything if we go down this road. The only pain I have is what is happening in our homeland, because the enemy doesn't care. The enemy doesn't care. We have to be very, very careful. If you just go out and pass out all these communiques, they make their whatever they do. Look, we have an education curriculum that we have written. We cannot impose it on the people of the Southern Cameroons. We will have to meet up with others, with experts in this area. We have experts who will be able to look at it. It's not a calendar. The curriculum for English is not going to be the same that you do for general sciences or chemistry or physics or biology. These things will change. There are experts in all of this area. What is important and what is not important? What type of mathematics are they going to study? Are you going to draw them like in the UK? They use Singaporean mathematics. So you will say this is what they will do. Like Pastor Chris have said it, like what we said. We are still writing the same exams that the others are writing. The children are under fire. They are going through difficult in the community schools because the enemy.
Hello, Chris.
How are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
Raiding these areas, frightening these kids, killing some of them, raping some of them. And then we add more pain to the pain they are already going. All of this. That is the question I'm asking. See, we are here now trying to explain this. This is not what we were supposed to do. We are here because of the recalcitrant lying attitude of one of our own. We were not supposed to come and be discussing these issues. We will just do these things collectively and say, this is the time frame. As Comrade Kometa said, PG County in the United States, in Maryland, will say, okay, the date to resume schools will be from the 1st of September to the 30th. So any school within PG can resume in that time frame. Let me put it that way. So schools can decide when they resume within that time frame. You won't go out of that time frame because those schools will decide in the districts based on particular reasons why they want to resume this way. And like in Maryland, snow might fall somewhere in western Maryland. It's not falling in another area. So they take all of these things into consideration when they come out looking at a curriculum, and they always have a means in which they can adjust it. But we are not in that situation, not the snow situation. We are not yet in that situation. So we have to be careful. We should not be in a hurry to impose ourselves as president, because we can call ourselves anything we want to call ourselves to make ourselves happy. It's not going to change anything. That is not reality. The reality is our homeland is under captivity. We are in defiance with the enemy. And if we want to do something to alleviate the situation based on the changing realities of the struggle, we should do the right thing. And when we come together as a people to sit and talk, if you know you are coming there to impose what you already have as a group, there is no need to come for that meeting. Don't waste people's time. You come there, sit there, they take a decision, and you are copied so that you are aware of that decision that has been taken. To go out and then you are doing name calling, and then you are telling lies, you just say anything that you want to say, is not going to solve the problem. It won't change anything. For me, I can go online on Facebook and say what I want to say and tell people what I want to tell them. They won't do anything to me. Because face to face, they won't first do something to me. What would they do when I'm online? Then we are just trying to be respectful of ourselves. So if we have our brothers and sisters who have come together and we say they should work out in the consultative committee, and so that we see how, even if we don't agree on everything, there are things we have to agree on and move forward. We should be able to applaud it than to always put fuel in a fire that is burning our land from the enemy. We are also adding our own into it. It's not being helpful. So please, it's an appeal I'm making. We should send this message out there. We are doing the best behind the scene to make sure that our disagreement should not be something that will impugn bitterness among us. Because when we become bitter, anger is different, hatred is different. Bitterness is something where you don't choose sides when somebody is bitter. I keep telling people that when you are bitter, every other person around you becomes a casualty. And that is where we don't want to go. We must understand that if we have our ego, because they call us presidents and the rest, we have to be careful. This is the Southern Cameroons. This is the Southern Cameroons. And it has to do with all of us. If you want to declare something and go unilateral, you do as we did. We will say a unilateral ceasefire in the areas we control, so that we don't have any problem with anybody. And we can justify it, we can defend it. But if you want to do it on behalf of every person, on behalf of our entire territory, we can justify it, we can defend it. But if you want to do it on behalf of every or you person, are just wasting your time. You can write any communique you want to write, send audios and send what you want to send. It is not going to work. We will do only what is right for our people. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Doc. As others are coming on, and I'll just let the conversation flow among the leaders, for them also be able to chime in when you can. Dr. Florentine, are you on there? Okay. So as you all have heard from
Dr. Florentine, Dr. Florentine should unmute. Dr. Florentine should unmute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry about that, senior comrades. I have been on a very long trip
since morning.
So unfortunately, I might not be able to be on screen throughout, but I followed the discussions from Dr. Fontaine. I followed the discussion from Max Chaps. I followed the discussion from Comrade Chris Anu. And I followed the discussion and presentation from my comrade brother, Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga, and I think we've all touched some very pertinent issues. I wept last time following the meeting of the 15th of August, and hours after that, we saw what one of our comrades did, or his organization did, which was quite disastrous. And I asked myself a lot of questions when people come and advocate a certain position which doesn't rhyme, which doesn't tie with reality. What are they really aiming for? Dr. Fontaine talked about a people-centered approach in every aspect, in every sector of life. What in education is the people-centered approach. In classroom teaching and lecturing that I'm experiencing, you have to design and craft your lesson, deliver your lessons in a people-centered approach. Even in hospitality, doctors, directors of institutions, ministers or directorates, different directors of government authorities do ensure their hospitals are patient-centered. So even in hospitality, even in business, the customer is always right. So if we have to come up with a system and we all agree in unison, then the next day, one of us turns around and starts destroying everything we agreed on, sending out packs of lies to our people, it becomes very destructive. And when I also hear people who are educated having claiming to have designed a curriculum for Ambazonia without realizing and saying certain things we don't really tie, I feel sad, because one of my master's degree is in curriculum. People come up and say they've designed a curriculum. Where did they consult? How did they do the consult?
What happened? You went off?
Yes.
I'm
Go
sure
ahead,
that
Doc. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I think that he's been on the road since morning, and I guess he's passing through a turnpike, and so when you pass, there are certain places when you pass through, the network gets interrupted. But I'm sure he'll be joining us shortly.
Sorry, it just got interrupted.
I know.
Yeah, because of the situation, and I was saying, when people talk from a position and want to make our people believe they can speak for education as educators, or as people who know what curriculum is all about, I feel sad, because I'm a curricularist. One of my master's degree is in curriculum. You need to consult parents, pupils. You need to consult the community before designing a curriculum. When a group or a few individuals want to just ram their way through and impose a particular date, it doesn't help. And claiming they have a curriculum for the schools in Ambazonia, the former Southern British Cameroons, it doesn't help. We need to be serious. As a curricularist, I know we need to do consultations, at every phase of your curriculum development. So at these different phases, you need to develop. Either you need to consult, either it is your planning stage, your curriculum, your development stage, your design, your implementation stage. And if we are coming together, it's important those who feel otherwise to think again, because unity, working as one, is very important. And this is a consult. That's why we've subscribed within the IPOA, within ROA, Republic of Ambazonia, we subscribed to this consultative commission. because we have to do what is right. We have to do things in a people-centered approach for the benefit of our people, rather than do things in a way that chokes our people, pushes them back to the enemy. And in that process, we're losing vital funds, by destroying even our own economy and weakening the resolve of our people. So it is on this note that I would pass it on so that another leader could take it from there. I want to thank everyone for coming. We are here fully on board. We appreciate what the efforts, the sacrifices of Dr. Akwanga Max Chaps, and we wish them well in the mission that they are out for. We know, and I want to tell our people, it's sad, things have been taking different turns. We've had people come out there to attack us in different ways by sending out packs of lies against comrades in this struggle, just because of the difference, just because we've opposed that approach of individuals and a group ramming on our people a certain date, which doesn't work. But majority of us are for this range, so that our people can really decide in different areas when it best suits them, and they can actually get our kids to school. And even the fighters that have been calling, they're worried. They're worried. So we are together. We keep pushing, the doors are open. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Florentine. Dr. Fontaine, I don't know.
Is Dr. Taylor in?
Dr. Taylor is not yet in.
Okay. What about Chairman Kometa?
Chairman Kometa is not yet in, and Lady Marianta is not yet here herself. I know that they had a
she did not send up.
event
She did not send Dr. Fondi.
Comrade Fondi is not here. I know that they had a late event last night. So
okay.
But let's proceed. Yes. So if you could take on the other questions, I'm sure the leaders that are here are speaking for all of them.
All right. So I think it becomes clear that the Southern Cameroon's Liberation Movement does not yet control schools. Neither does it have an education board nor a curriculum. Our policy, therefore, is meant to show defiance, as Comrade Akwanga has said. It is meant to send a message to La République du Cameroon that they can no longer just issue decisions and have them implemented by fiat. Our decisions should not require serious enforcement, because it should be easy for our people to, these decisions should be easy for our people to implement. Decisions which choke our people cause them to resist and consequently require tougher enforcement mechanisms that breed other vices like kidnapping, ransom collection, and even brutality. So people-centered decisions protect the people from the wrath of the enemy and does not put restoration fighters into needless conflict with the people they are supposed to protect. Telling school teachers, therefore, to choose the resumption date without giving them a cover is the ostrich approach. It creates an opportunity to put school administrations at loggerheads with LRC, because once you tell a school that they should choose their date of resumption without giving them the range that they are supposed to choose, then it makes it difficult for the school administrator, because once they choose a date without any constraint, then the government will say they have disobeyed them. The La République government will say they have disobeyed them. But if you tell them that for us, schools begin from this day to this day, then La République would naturally take their hands off, because they know that they have a counterforce. So without that, you're putting the teachers and the school officials in conflict with La République on the one hand, and the restoration forces on the other hand. So we must encourage our people, we should encourage our people to walk by the range so that people do not get into needless trouble with La République du Cameroun. It is important. Both parents and school authorities will ultimately choose what date is convenient for them. Time is also a crucial factor in the completion of syllabuses, especially for examination classes. So prolonged delays of school resumption will definitely be of great disadvantage to children in examination classes. These children may lose scholarships or points because of poor results or weak results. So it should be noted that we do not yet control our own examination board. We've noted that again, we've said that. So we cannot take decisions about the start of the GCE or the closure of schools for the academic year. One of the things that we have always been noted for is the performance of our schools. Our children do very well in exams. And so we must not deny them that. So that even if the war is raging in our homeland, we must strive to find a way to mitigate it in such a way that to create a corridor through which, unless it becomes absolutely necessary, our children should be able to have a way. And I think that is a good spirit. It is good for the liberation movement. And that is why, from the beginning of this struggle, when we showed that we were protective of our children, we were protective of our communities, every decision we took after consulting, the community respected it 100%. But by the time if you look at the social implication of all these prolonged things, children start wondering. They start getting involved in mischievous things. Pregnancies start coming in. Children start, trying to look for money because they see their peers doing things that they cannot do, and before long you realize that some of them have gotten into criminality. There is also the economic side. Instability in the school situation is forcing teachers to migrate to La République du Cameroun, where government officials have opened new schools to which many parents now send their children. So our shops, markets, service providers are losing money to La République du Cameroun. But the same people affected by our poor decisions are expected to pay liberation tax. So where do they get the money from? They cannot sell. Where do they get the money from? So when all the customers have moved away to other places and created business for La République citizens, we now will have to squeeze our people's throats to pay taxes to us. So these are some of the things that we unwittingly do that hurt our liberation movement. Psychologically, we need to also look at the psychological side. Some of these poor decisions are intended to frustrate our people and cause them to stop supporting the fight for their own freedom. Our children should see the merits or advantages of the liberation struggle, not its demerits. Politically, even though the return to school is something La République may want to use to brag about the return to normalcy, figures of military casualties will always negate that. The war is still on, but we can choose to make our children to have the best of both worlds. They can live in the fight and still pass their exams. And we can decide when they start school and still make it convenient for them to be able to catch up. We can decide that they will not go to school, but still know that we can tell them to return to school at a time that is possible for teachers to teach them in a way that their brains can still assimilate what they have missed. So let us, my people, look at the way our country, what is the kind of country that we want? Do we want a Southern Cameroon where there is chaos, where we have the same old La République tendencies. Remember what Lafrère said in The Pedagogy of the Deprived. If we want to free our people, we cannot continue to import the attitudes, the behaviors, the practices of the people from whom we are trying to free our people. We must not make our people be unfortunate to have known that oppressor and be unfortunate to have the kind of liberator that we are. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for that, Dr. Fontem. I think Dr. Kwanga is going to come in again, and we'll let the leaders just have a conversation as they are having now. For those of you who have your hands up, don't worry, we'll get to you for questioning. Let's hear the leaders' discussions. Go ahead, Doc.
Just a minute before Chairman Akwanga comes in, before Dr. Akwanga comes in, please, for those who want to send, who are watching on TV and want to send in text messages, they can send in their text messages just for this particular town hall to +1 240 486 2837 +1 240 486 2837. Thank you. Chairman Akwanga.
Thank you, Dr. Fontem. Please, I'm making this appeal. If you realize for a very long time, I really don't like all these public stuffs, especially in this regard, because our lack of patience have made people to commit a lot of errors. One of our brothers have just said that we should stop lamenting and talk of a means to go forward. I don't think that is the right word to use. I know that most of us are running this struggle with a lot of emotion. We all have that same emotion. We have to be very, very understanding. By the time we come online, first try to find out why we are here. What made us to come online until we are able to have this discussion with you people to talk about this thing. Now, the question I wanted to ask is like what I have said before. When you declare people to pay taxes and you give them receipt, what are the security safeguards that you have made to make sure that when La République du Cameroon send the so-called GDR, hooligans, terrorists, to come and deceive these people to find out whether they have paid their taxes, claiming that they are our defenders, combatants, and then these people show them those taxes, and then they go back, they see the receipt, and then they go and inform JMI, or maybe the police, or even the military of La République to come over and harass these people. You who have declared these taxes, you've collected the money and you issue these receipts. What safeguards have you put in place to protect these people who are your nationals, who have listened to you and they are paying these taxes to you and you are giving them receipts? I am not here to even ask what you do with the money. Because the reality is, if you were employing that money on the ground, we will not be talking as we are talking now. So this is one of the biggest problems that we have. And there are a lot of us who are here listening and watching, who are applauding this madness. Imagine that you declare taxes. Dr. Kwanga goes and declares taxes, give my own amount. Every one of us go and declare taxes as leaders. What type of chaos are you causing? Because I don't know whether we think before we do these things. This thing now is something else like showmanism. We don't even feel the pain of this land and the people. Where are you? You are nowhere to be found. You've collected money, you've gone. Take them, lock them up. Maybe you collected only 100,000. They will ask them to pay 5 million before they release them to lose who are punishing the people down here. No, please, I'm begging Amazonians. Southern Cameroonians, when you people are doing this stuff, I'm begging you people, don't put me there. Because if you try, you will just be biting your tongue and wasting your time. The people come first. This is not a game for me. It has never been a game. You might not like the way I talk or the way I carry out things, but I will try whether you cannot protect them. You ask people to paint their taxis a different color. Imagine, if they impound that taxi, where are you to protect them? This is their own livelihood. What is the purpose of all of this? What is the purpose? I'm here. You can call me King Akwanga, the king of the Southern Cameroons. Does it make me king? It doesn't make me king. And the Southern Cameroons is not a kingdom. So what is wrong with us? By the time you finish exposing this madness, people will go out and think that because they have a mouth, they should talk. We just sit somewhere, we make communiques. As we know, all of us have the keyboard. We can type on the computer, we can use big grammar, we send it out, in fact, we are molesting our people more than even what the enemy is doing from La Republic. This is totally unacceptable. And I'm saying this, those of you who know these people, they are maybe your direct relatives. Go to them and tell them that the time to stop this madness have come. Me, I've decided to take my role, to play the role in a different way. I am not scared of going out after anybody. I will go out to any length. And that is why I keep saying, if anyone is tired in this fight like the others, please just exit and stop causing more pain to our people. We should be meeting and strategizing behind the scene, so that when we come out, we are coming out with something that is more positive looking. Rather than coming here and talking about these things, we don't just sit and take decisions. You must change your taxi. You must pay your this. You must do this. Where's the money going to? You collect the money. You are out here, you pass the decision that you take liberation taxes. Things people just rush to decisions and make them without looking at the impact, the negative impact on the struggle and our people. If I am wrong, please say, Dr. Akwanga, what you are doing is wrong. Stop attacking the leadership of the Southern Cameroon. Because it will be me who is responsible, not everybody. Because this thing has this, we spread this thing all over the place. Some of us go to talk to diplomats, they say, look at what is going on. And they will be like, we're trying to set up people. I am tired of this suffering of our people that we are causing. We can defend ourselves from the enemy. How do we defend ourselves from ourselves when we continuously do this madness? What's wrong with us? What do we benefit? What do we benefit? We go and do our jobs, collect, we are paid whether after 1 week or 2 weeks, we collect in dollars, in euros, in kronos, or whatever. And they will come and sit on a computer and take any decision for people that we don't even know, some of them, little children. They're burning people's cars, taxis. They're arresting breadwinners, locking them up with all the hardship they're going through. If we are not able to put an end to this, we are wasting our time. And this suffering will continue. The Sudanese fought for more than 20 years. They started their own peace process for the first time after 11 years, 10 months. It didn't work. Even up to now we are talking. There is not yet a fully comprehensive peace process in Cambodia. I mean in Colombia. Between the Colombian government and FARC, they have fought for more than 50 years. We have opportunities, we keep kicking it down the road. Some people just want to add the pain for our people. It is like, listen, if it is not me at the top and my team leading this stuff, I will mess up everything. I don't care. I don't give a damn. What are you people going to do to me? That type of mentality is is worse than Trumpian mentality. We can't allow this to continue. I'm begging, please, I'm begging. I don't want to go out because they're not achieving anything. They're people and the population. And like as I said before, if you turn the people against you, the enemy has won. In any form whatsoever. That is our last line of defense. They will withstand any pain and they will take it with joy. Not the pain that we are responsible for adding to them. They can't take it with joy. They will sell all of us. And we know how many people have been sold like that on the ground. They will sell you, sell your family. And people will die like people will not waste any time to wipe out anyone they want to wipe out. They have no mercy. They never forgive. We must stop this madness. We must stop it. If anybody has Apache helicopters and means to seize land and control and impose their ideology on the type of Southern Cameroons they want, that is fine. As of now, we are doing defiance, and we are sure that if we fix our things the right way, we will have an inroad. But this way is totally unacceptable. The suffering is much. I know many of you sleep, you don't care about it. You don't think about the suffering of our people. It's not part of your business. That is why people do all of this madness. We sleep, we get up, we're only thinking how we need to go and work the next day for us to be paid. There are people suffering, really, really suffering. I never knew we reached a level where even as we play jokes with the corpses of our people, we'll go to this level where the level of our empathy has totally gone away. Has gone away. Otherwise, we will not be making this type of rash decisions. So I don't want to be calling groups, but I thought I should emphasize on this because one of our brothers said we should stop lamenting. We are just frustrated. That's something that we try to fix behind without you people knowing, for the good of everyone. I was in that meeting. I'm the one who pleaded. I said, please, we should come together. Let's fix this thing. So that let's sit together and see what we can do. Brother James did not sleep. Late in the night, he was sending a message to the other brother. The other brother replied that we should meet the next day. In order for us to come for a meeting, before the meeting ended, they first insulted people in that meeting. Insulted Dr. Fontaine and Cometa. By the time the meeting ended, they started insulting our parents on audio and the rest. Just imagine we go out there and start throwing insults. What's the benefit of it? It's only bullies who do that. And you know how school bullies are. They are not people. If you are capable and strong enough, you should know the way you talk. Pass your point, but we must find a way to alleviate the plight of our people as we continue to prosecute this liberation struggle. Because if we don't do that, we will continue to lose men and women on the ground. We must show our people that even with the difficulties we are facing, they are our number one priority. We cannot go on adding pain to them every now and then. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Dr. Fontaine,
Comrade Chris Anu.
Comrade Chris, please come in.
Yeah, I'd say quite a number of hands up. I think it's not necessary for us to be repeating what others have said. I would prefer maybe we'll go to the floor and take some of those hands, and then I can come back maybe in the position of responding to some of them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hands up. How about that?
Sounds good. So let's
a second, please. If I may just say something before we get there, adding to the point of Dr. Akwanga, I am very strongly of the opinion that we have to end this nonsense where somebody unilaterally think that he has control over Ground Zero. Coming here, I read a message in WhatsApp from the same organization we're here referring to, declaring lockdown for almost the entire month of September. One thing I just wanted us to take note of, I don't know whether you guys have seen that. I think we have to take a decision from here that we then communicate to Ground Zero to the effect that We don't have lockdown between 17 to October 2nd.
Second.
Nothing like that. If somebody is calling for lockdown from September 1st, they have to explain why they need a lockdown, because, comrade, all these long lockdowns without explanation, it only suffers our people. It put them in bondage. Our people live on retail stuff like selling gari, selling egusi, in the market, and you want to shut down those markets for almost 1 month. So I think coming out of here, we have to take a decision on that. This is just informational. So yeah, let's go ahead and take the hands.
Okay, Conrad Chaps, take the list so that those who are going to ask questions know who they are. They know themselves.
Yes, so we will go with Comrade Candida. First, TJ Suyumni, Comrade TJ, then Comrade JC, Dr. Epa, Dr. Mana, and Comrade Francis. In that order, that is how I saw the hands. Candida, please go ahead. Candida, unmute yourself and speak.
Candida, unmute.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the time you're having your various destinations. Let me appreciate the organizers of this meeting, and hoping that at the end of it, we come out with some good resolutions. I sent my hand up when one of the comrades was speaking. I didn't see the name, but it was written in the Republic of Amazonia. I don't know who is representing that. Yeah. For 8 years that we have been in this struggle, I think we should be able to drum our chest that we know some amount of diplomacy the way we talk. I mean, among ourselves. I don't even talk about that, the real international diplomacy among ourselves. I see that we still lack a manner of approach when we speak. And this is what has been actually holding us back. Because if we cannot even regulate ourselves when we speak among ourselves, then just imagine how or what happens when we stand in front of international diplomats. Yeah, I picked some aspects from the guy, I don't know if it's a lady or but the name is not the Republic of Amazonia. First, the tone in which he's speaking, I don't like that when you speak in the public among your countrymen. I don't like that tone. Secondly, we must have this attitude of appreciating what others are doing. It's a must if we want to move forward. If somebody has written something on Amazonia, be it an educational piece, be it an economic piece, be it a political piece, please, if we come across it and we want to do something as a people, I would suggest that we contact the author of such a piece. He comes into the team, tell us what he has tried to do in the name of Amazonia. Then we can harmonize our thoughts with whoever wants to be in that board and right on from there. But this aspect of saying that, oh, this body did not consult it, I have a master's degree in this. Do you know how many ambassadors who have master's degree and PhD in various fields? It's uncountable. It's very uncountable. We cannot use consultation as a speed break to stop ambassadors in their individual corners from doing what they are supposed to do. Instead, if we tumble on a piece of work that has been done by any ambassador, we should instead tell the ambassador, okay, brother, we can see that you have written some work on this. Can you come in? There's a forum now that ambassador wants to actually produce a national piece. Can you come in with your own ideas and let's see how we can produce a national piece? Than just stigmatizing people because this man didn't consult it. At the chaos we are now, you cannot consult everybody. And to also further tell you guys, by the time we get Amazonia, you realize that a lot of people that are not seen in that are already doing some work. We're not going to throw that work in the garbage can because they were not consulted. We should instead bring them along, see the best and make out of it, and even use some of those work as a foundation for the next level. So that's what I see. Let's stop this habit of always trying to stigmatize people, trying to run down people. We talk about master degree PhD. We are 10 to 12 million Ambazonians in different walks of life.
Comrade Candida, please. I'm sorry, I'm not interrupting you. I think that it was done in a particular context of the last meeting, not that it was a general aspersion on the general effort that has been carried out. Because I think he was reacting to some things that people do because they claim that they have been able to achieve this or that. So I don't think that it was a general statement. So maybe
thank God that's not a general statement, but I'm just saying that going forward.
If you have some other questions to ask, you can ask so that we can get the next.
I'm done. I'm just saying that we should mind the way we talk.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Comrade,
TJ.
Comrade, a second, please. I think Comrade Canada came in late without understanding the background, the context from which some of those things were said. He is saying,
please, and then Dr. Akwanga wants to respond.
He is saying the right thing, but not in the context within which it was raised here. I guess because it came in late, and also because he was not in the meetings that we have held previously. Of course, we always welcome opinion, and just as he has said, when we sit down to take certain decisions, we always have to consider which papers are out there, who has written what, who has contributed what. I remember a few years ago, Dr. Lees wrote a profound curriculum on education. Those are some of the things that you consult with others when you sit down as a team to draw a curriculum or to draw a curriculum. So every contribution matters, and they are all welcome. We are against the idea of somebody thinking that what I have written or what he has written is final. You take it or you leave it. That is what we don't want. Thank you.
Yes, maybe Comrade.
Okay, can I come in now?
To say something. Yes.
Is it Akwanga or me?
Did Comrade Akwanga want to respond to react?
Please, can we talk and then the leaders respond?
Yeah. I think if Comrade Akwanga wants to say something with respect to the the last speaker, Comrade TJ, please just
so unique. TJ, before you speak,
somebody put down my hand.
What I want to say to brother, thank you so much for what.
Did somebody put down my hand?
No problem. Is that Comrade TJ?
Yeah, that's me.
No, your hand is still up.
No, your hand is still up.
Your hand is up.
You are the next speaker. Even if your hand is down already, you are the next speaker.
Yeah, let me say something that you just come in with what you want to say. 1 second. Yes, I was saying that what Comrade Candida said was okay, but I want to assure him that what Dr. Fonche spoke of is as a result of what I call legitimate frustration and anger. That you take your time, you come to a meeting and sit with your own brothers and sisters, you think that you've reached a conclusion on something. Every agreement was there. And then the next second, you find a responsible person going out and not just twisting the facts, telling outright lies. And we, as an individual, you have done some work. You don't impose it on the people. You don't come and say, this is what you people have brought that you want that. Take it, they should use it. That becomes a problem. So it is because of some of that it brings out the frustration from some people. That is why you all of these things. A lot of our people have done we have a brother who is in Maryland. He's a very good brother. Reach out to the US military. to the United States military. He spent close to $30,000 for the U.S. military band to play the anthem. To put this anthem in the rightful manner. The anthem that people sing too. He called for me that he wants to see me. He came to me and gave me the copy. He said, this is part of the contribution I can do. He didn't impose it out there. He didn't say, this is what I have done, I'm going to throw it out there. So there are a lot of people putting in their own money because of what they think is the contribution they can put into the struggle. We welcome all of contribution, but we cannot impose. I cannot go and sit and work on something and come and impose it that this is what the meetings. And even during that last meeting, we said it there that, oh, the curriculum you people are having is not a bad thing. What we are only saying is that there are others who have done the same thing. We will bring them at the right time together. We look at them and then we try to fine-tune them based on our own particular characteristics we are drawing from Australia, from the UK, from Canada, from US, or maybe from Ghana or South Africa or where. We will bring all of these things, look at our situation and say, oh, is this going to work or this will not work? Even our labor codes, our criminal laws, everything, we will work it out that way. So we appreciate it. It's just as that they are coming from a point of frustration that has really affected them seriously. Thank you.
Comrade TJ, come in, please.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Chefs. And I want to say that experts in communication have said, if you talk for 1 minute, 30 seconds, it is perfect. If you talk more than 1 minute, more than 2 minutes, you are repeating yourself, except you are presenting, except it is a presentation. Let me just go back to Pidgin and say, when something good, you need to appreciate it. I applaud this initiative of leaders coming together and doing what all of you are doing here. I think it is the next step that is going to create a lot of impact. Greetings, everybody. I am TJ, and I'm talking here in my personal capacity. I want to take us back to what Dr. Fontaine says. How can people-centered decisions move the liberation struggle? And I hope that is what we came here for. When the first floor member who was talked about one of our members that said something and then was venting and then talking about degrees and diplomas or whatever thing, it looks like we were moving out of what brought us here. This consultative commission, when the press release came out, I did talk with some of the members. I communicated with some of the leaders, and I asked whether that decision taking that decision, how much does the consultative commission communicate with Ground Zero? I asked whether the consultative commission has the ears of Ground Zero, whether in that press release was the opinion of Ground Zero, and how much influence do we have in Ground Zero? Because it looks like there is the diaspora and then there is Ground Zero in this liberation struggle, where especially the diaspora just see they can feel and take decision without asking the opinion or asking what Ground Zero thinks. We might claim very right that La République du Cameroon runs things in Amazonia, but we have territories in Ambazonia that Ambazonian fighters run. And for us to be taking decisions, to be sending out press releases, to be making communiques, sending on them, do we talk to them? Do we get their opinion? Do we let them tell us this is feasible? I am talking from what I know and the way I communicate. Let me just say this. Today, before this meeting, I was talking to somebody on Ground Zero, and some schools have started. I am from Bui. Some schools have started in Bui already. And they are running. This person was talking to me, telling me that about school fees. We all know what it happens. When we made the decision of a school starting on the is this 17 or 19 and the second, did we talk with Ground Zero? Was that the opinion of Ground Zero? Because what I know is that there are people whom we may differ with them. We may feel bad when they take a decision that communicates with the fighters, not even a group, not even a portion, but they communicate with all. There are Ambazonians here in the diaspora or around out of Ambazonia who talk with all the fighters. And when there is an opinion, they give to the fighters to look at it, to study it, to discuss it among them. And then they come out with, say, the date of the second. And that's why we have these differences. I would have wished for us, the leader that we differ with, for us to bring them here and ask them, we were here, we agreed on this. Why did you go out? And then you came out with another date. Rather than us come here, instead of chatting, because I know we are coming here, if I followed the release today, is that we are going to come out with a permanent start date for school in Ambazonia. If I'm not mistaken, that was the main thing of this meeting today. And that's why I was so interested in joining. And then telling us, the leaders that are here, the people, members of the Consultative Commission, please have a means of talking to all the fighters on the ground. They are the ones that are they are the shakers and movers of things on Ground Zero today. Talk with them, ask their opinion. Let me just say something again. If something is a press release, if a communique comes from any leader in the diaspora, some fighters will say, oh no, this is from this. And they will not implement it. But if that leader were to come to the consultative committee or commission, give that opinion there, it is sent back to the leader, to the fighters on the ground. They discuss it among themselves from northern zone to southern zone, and then agree with it, modify it, and send it back to the consultative commission, and then they send out that press release. It will be something that they will agree, because they have had an opinion on that, and they have taken that decision. So what I want to say is, the decisions we take, the press releases we send out, the communiques we release, that are from the diaspora, not sanctioned by Ground Zero fighters, will always bring this controversy that we are here today. To end, let me not break my own golden rule.
I was going to remind you.
2 minutes. Yeah, to end, I will say that the curriculum certification of exams in Ambazonia should be a discussion for another day. I want to appreciate the members of the commission and tell them that, please, when we have this, let us have debate. Let's not have venting, people talking with anger, trying to tell us this. No, let us have debate. Let it be, your opinion is schools are starting on the 2nd. Our opinion is schools are starting from the 17th to the 2nd. What are your points? When we debate like that, we weigh it together and we come out with a better result. And then we send it out to the people. That will be the way forward. And thank you.
Chairman, can I do a quick response to that, please?
Go ahead.
Comrade Chris, and then let me say something after that.
Dr.
All right. I listened to the last comrade there, and I have had exchanges with him personally. I don't know who he is trying to defend here, whether he is defending Ground Zero or defending the Consultative Commission. And by the way, the Consultative Commission is not a group like the interim government, like APLM or any other group. It's a group of leaders that come together. And it is assumed that when a group of leaders come together, take a decision, it is binding. And when you talk about consulting with the fighters on Ground Zero, you have to understand, it appears you don't have an idea of how this thing has been managed for the past. We consult with the forces we take decisions and consult with the fighters on Ground Zero in regards to logistics, implementation logistics. That is what has happened in the past years. And I do not know whether you are suggesting that it was a wrong thing for the leaders to come together, put their heads together and take a decision and then communicate it. I do not know whether you are blaming the Consultative Forum or blaming somebody who then went out unilaterally to do his own thing on his own. The message you are trying to send is like lay blame, which I just do not see the grounds for it. Over the years, the way we have done things, and when I say we, I mean all of us, including every group. And this body that we call Consultative Commission is again not a group, but a group of leaders coming together, trying to speak with one voice. And throughout the course of this struggle, what we have done is come together, deliberate upon the situations, take decisions, push them to the ground, fund them. There's nothing that we've done differently in this case. So I hope it makes some sense there. All right, I yield.
Yes, I think when you listen to the last speaker, I think the ambivalent manner in which he couched his remarks tell you perhaps where his loyalties lie. But I think the problem of our liberation struggle is not the decision that the leaders took in this case was not a military decision. It was a socio-political decision, because it had to do with the livelihood of our people. Because when these are people who consult with the fighters, these are people who talk to Ground Zero, and the commission has networks on Ground Zero, networks of organizations, neighborhood organizations, and communities, so traditional authorities and so on. So when you see the reaction to the press release, it was reflective of the aspirations of our people. We must remember that we are in this fight for our people. We are not in this fight for our fighters. The fighters are fighting for our people. Yes. So, and our fighters know, except when some people try to manipulate them, that the fight is for our people. So, and when you see the range that was given, it was because parents and the communities have been pleading that we should give them a safe latitude so that children can go back to school, so that they do not have to struggle, And so the whole setting was carefully considered by the leaders. in the course of their discussions. They raised all the security elements, they raised the political points, they raised the economic points, they looked at everything, and that is why they were able to come up with that range. That's why they were able to come up with that range. The range took care of those areas where people insist that school must only resume on the 2nd. It took care of those areas where people insist that schools must only resume on the 22nd, and it took care of those areas where people insist that wanted schools to resume on the 17th. So it is a matter of when you come to the negotiation table, it is a matter of compromise. You have to give and take, and in the process, the leaders. This is something that has never happened before in this liberation struggle, where leaders come and for the first time, each person gives and takes, and they were very happy and they were satisfied when they were leaving. So I think that we should rather encourage them. And give them the support they need to be able to work as one, because that is the problem of our liberation struggle. Chaps.
Yes.
Comrades, please, you are each supposed, you are free to ask your questions and make up some suggestions, but this is the appeal I want to give. If you are not aware of the background story of why we are here and how this thing is all about, I will appeal that you don't just speak. It's not always every time you have to talk, because it's taking us back and it might push us to say things we are not supposed to say that might open up wounds and all whatnot. Because upon all of this discussion that we had here of late, the important thing I heard from my brother was the thank he gave to those who organized the meeting and the rest. Everything was taken into consideration. Even when we said the people on the ground, the fighters on the ground are not homogeneous. We don't have a type of command where all of us sitting here, not everyone sitting here runs a self-defense on the ground, that we have a command where we are running things, and when they take a decision, it becomes part of the decision we've taken. I don't want to call a particular group on the ground that has been causing a lot of chaos. I don't want to do that. So if it's a group going to cause chaos and is doing what the people, somebody is in prison, he's part of running a group with people outside and they're doing confusion. No, we don't want to be part of that. What we are saying is simple. Me, this is my first time I attended a meeting that has to do with decision on whether school reopening or blah, blah, blah. The APLM has never, and we took a decision that will not be involved. But when you are working in a group, we don't need to say, agree on everything. If the majority are there, we need to back what they are doing. That is the way it works. People used to take decisions that goes down, we implement it. We don't ask questions. They say this one, we do it. That is how we operate. What we are saying is that if we sit behind to fix something, you don't expect, if I don't agree with it, I would disagree in the meeting. I would not really agree on it and then I go out and make audio communities.
I'm not getting him. I don't know why it's just my own system or this happens to everybody.
Dr. Kwanga has network issues.
And that should be applauded. It is very important. We did that. We don't talk to one another, but that is not important. This is the struggle. And it's a very good thing that we are doing. That is why we are speaking in the way we are speaking. So this is the appeal I'm giving. Some of you don't even know the background. You don't even know from where we are coming from. And we are trying to avoid calling people's names and the name of their groups. We don't want to give them the opportunity. That is why they attack us. But they know themselves. So we are just making that appeal. It's an appeal we are making. That when you don't know the background, don't take us back. If you have difficulties, if it is close, they can share it with you. Or just listen and understand where we are going, we are coming from or where we are going to. Because you'll be taking us back and giving the impression that maybe we just went there, we were fighting ourselves, we were rejecting everything. No. We were calm, we were trying to understand one another. We wanted to make sure that we meet with all the dates that individual groups or whatsoever has brought together to align. The bigger group of people, the consultative body, have a time frame. An individual came with his own particular fixed date. We did not have a fixed date. We wanted to make sure that we meet and then reach that agreement. And we agreed that it will fall within this range and this range. And then an individual goes out, attack the rest of us, impose his own date, and that is why I'm asking, why did that person come for the meeting? If you know you're going to impose your own date, we do not go anywhere. Why did you come for the meeting? To insult us or to divert us, to make us not to stay focused on the struggle? So it's a problem that we have. And you people should be able to understand where we are coming.
We are not the ones responsible for the issues. We are saying that people create these problems. And we just want to inform you people because you might have heard one side of the story. And they're calling that individual or that group's name. And we are saying that it will stop. If they don't stop it, we will find a way to stop it. Because it is affecting our people. Our people are dying. And that is our concern. If our people are not important, there should be no struggle. Why are we struggling? Why are we involved in all of this? We can all sit wherever we are and work our monies and stay. We are doing this because we are saying that we love our people and love our homeland. And we should do that in reality. We should not use that as a joke and use the people for our own political gains and all whatnot. That must come to an end. It is a must. We will do it the right way or do it the wrong way. But we have to stop it. The people must come first. This is too much. We have our groups, we have our organizations. I'm not going to impose APLM on anybody. We will continue to work in the way we want to work. And anytime that we want to go out of lane, I will tell the people, you will do it this way or we will no longer continue working this way. It is the people. Without the people, there is no struggle. No struggle.
Okay, Comrade Francis, Comrade JC, Dr. Epa, and Jose. Please unmute yourself and then make your comment, ask your question.
This is Comrade JC. Can I speak?
Yes.
Yes, please go ahead. Sorry, I called you before Francis, but go ahead.
My fellow Ambazonians, thank you all for gathering today for these deliberations. I have a quick question, firstly to Comrade Cristano and to Comrade Dr. Akwanga. The first one is in his opening statement, Comrade Cristano seems to have implied that the meeting of the 15th was meant to decide whether schools go back or not, and as well as the date. But some groups have openly advocated for return to school since 2019, and that is a return to all schools except public government schools. And some of these groups have even opened and run community schools in the area that they control. And since around that 2019, schools have been resuming.
JC, if you're speaking, we cannot hear you.
No, I think it's you. We can hear him.
Are you there?
We can hear him.
Yes, yes, we can hear him.
Some people can hear me.
We can hear
Yes,
you. Go
we
on.
can hear him.
Go on.
Yes. So my question is that since the last 3 or 4 years, schools have been resuming on the 2nd of October. So this meeting that was held on the 15th, I wonder what prompted it and so close to the presumed reopening date. If there was a need to change the October 2nd date, should this not have been done at least, you know, like 6 months or so beforehand? So the question here is, what prompted this meeting to revise the date that has been observed since 2020-ish? You know, the 2nd of October has been the opening date for our schools for the last 3 or 4 years. So that's the first question to Comrade Chris Anu. And the second question is to Dr. Akwanga. In one of his statements, he kept repeating that we are doing things that punish our own people. I want to ask this question. What is the single thing that punishes our people most? Is it not our decision to exert or to assert our right to self-defense? Dr. Akwanga, you are the father of the AK, and is the AK not the single thing that imposes the most suffering on our people? We all know that on many occasions when we have brought down La Republique Ekelebes, they have turned around and killed our innocent civilians who happen to be around. We remember how they burned the whole of Mbengwe Road when one of their armored cars was attacked. So why do we put so much emphasis on the fact that some of these policies that one group or the other may impose, that it will punish our people? What is the thing that most punishes our people? Is it not our decision to assert our right to self-defense? And let's put that in the context of how far can we go with the level of self-defense that we have at the moment? Can that take us far, or are other measures required? Thank you.
Before Comrade Chris and Comrade Akwanga take on that question, before they answer their questions, I just want to quickly say that self-defense is not on the menu for discussion today. So we will quarantine any issue that has to do with self-defense until further notice. So, but they may answer any other thing that has to do with school resumption. Thank you very much.
All right, comrade. I hear your question, but I think the premise was not accurate. The meeting that we held to take the decision that we took did not have to do with asking schools to resume. We know that for the 8 years that we have been in this, schools have been going on, even if majority have not been going on. At least we know that schools have been going on. The meeting was about changing the date of resumption. Somebody should mute, please. The meeting was not about asking schools to reopen. The meeting was about when schools should reopen. And the decision we took is something that we haven't taken before. For all the 8 years of the war and schools going on, we haven't taken that decision. We took that decision out of the motivation that we need to send a message to La République du Cameroon that our educational system is different. Theirs is different. So we don't see any reason why we should be resuming on the same date with theirs. And so that was the reason for that meeting. I think the second part of your question, if you can remind me, there were 2 points to your question to me. If so,
I think he wanted to know, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, he wanted to know, he was asking something to the effect of, when we say that the policies of other groups punish our people, I think he was making maybe an equivalent. What punishes our people more? Is it the annexation and all the effects of that, or is it the policies that are being put in place?
All right, comrade.
I think that's what he was asking.
I recall what you that was one of it, but the second part of it was you mentioned October, that schools always started on October 2nd. Comrade, I don't remember anybody, not even the group in which you want to defend, declaring schools to start October 2nd. We have not, this is the very first time that we are coming together as a group and agreeing when schools should resume. In the past, schools have resumed using their own discretion. Some would start September 1st or even August. Some start in at the end of the month, whatever. So the idea that, because I have seen this littering around that, oh, we always had school starting October 2nd. We always had school starting October 2nd for the past 3 years. That is apparently not accurate. That has never been an official position from any of the groups that I know here. And we have not, from the interim government position, ever announced that. We are now trying to sync everything to between September 17 and October 17. So this idea of October 2nd, that schools always started then, please, let's not try to suggest something that never existed. It is okay for you to say, we want school start on October 2nd, that is fine, than to say that we always had school start then. That was never the case. Nobody ever announced that. And I think Dr. Akwanga will answer the other parts of it.
Can I just jump in quickly, if you don't mind, Comrade Dr. Akwanga?
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think JC's question actually, Comrade Chris, Comrade Chris Anu has answered it very well, but I just want to add one point, that when we are asking people to subscribe, or organizations to subscribe to the Consultative Commission, is because there is constant consultation and surveys being done on the ground, with contacts with the people on the ground, with touching right down to the grassroots. No situation is permanent. We have to go with the flow of the reality on the ground. So we can't just say because the schools have been starting on the 2nd, we must stick to it. No. We have to consult parents, and that's why as a leader of the indigenous people of Ambazonia, I said no, we have been doing a good job, but as a team, as with coming together with different groups in this consultative commission, we will produce the best result for our people. Remember, it is for our people. So it was based on consultation that the Consultative Commission has been doing on the ground that prompted this meeting as well. And we arrived at that range because it suited everyone on the ground. But unfortunately, one of our brothers, after that meeting, decided to go against what he had agreed, and that was sad. And what he actually agreed for his own group. That's just all I wanted to add. I yield.
Yeah, thank you so much, Comrade Dr. Flo. My dear brother, that's how we call you. When wrongs are made to look like right and the people are silent, it doesn't make those wrongs to actually be right. For a very long time, individuals have been messing up with this trouble. And because of our nature, some of us will just stay quiet and watch them do whatever nonsense they want to do. Just like what we are saying here. I know the group that is on the ground and how that group was formed that has been causing all of this chaos. Because when I went to Canada, I met with the CDN. I knew the details about how that group was created. And this is the problem we have in this trouble. Somebody even stays in Kondenge, is running a group that is on the ground, imposing days for schools reopening and all types of shenanigans for this trouble. And when a group of people come together, you say the leaders should meet. Do you people want to know what the leaders are talking only when we come out to fight ourselves? You don't want that we stay behind and work constructively and then you see results. When we come out and fight, you people say we are fighting. We go behind and try to be constructive. You don't give us support. You come in and take some positions without even knowing exactly the nitty-gritty of what is going on. I who is sitting here, we have implemented all types of stuff on the ground without ever declaring any. Anyone here can swear to that, attest to that. We don't declare because we don't want chaos. If, for example, the interim government says Ghost Town is on this day, imagine we to come out and declare our own day for Ghost Town. What chaos is it going to be? We have two things to do. We will decide whether we'll implement it in the area where we are or we will not implement it. But we will not fight the interim government by going online and announcing a counter date. That is the way we have operated all along these years. But we know the people who will do a counter date. We know that right here, sitting here. Well, when this group does this will go and declare their own. Let me ask a simple question. If we say October 1st is Independence Day, how do you celebrate your independence on October 1st? With all the tiredness and fanfare, and on the 2nd you are resuming schools. Where on earth has that ever taken place? In the United States, when they say July 4th, people go far away. They leave their states and some even go to Mexico. People go far away, families, to commune with the other families. That is what they do. They go there to commune. Okay? And when they go and commune, do you think that they will start school on the 5th of July? It's difficult because they know children might be coming back from that holiday. That is the first thing. This is simple common sense. I'm using that common sense. That you cannot say you are celebrating 1st October, then on the 2nd, you have schools. This is simple common sense. What we are saying is simple. Schools do not necessarily resume the same day. There is Prince George's County in Maryland. There is another one they call Montgomery County. Montgomery is richer than PG. But their school resumptions are not the same day. But they are all writing almost the same exams. They are different. The days they close from schools are not the same days. I've given an example about snow. In the southern Cameroons, we know how our land are, how the type of land we have. So things cannot work the same way, but there is a calendar that will tell you that schools resumption have to be within this time frame. So anybody can set up their own within that time frame. All what we are saying is that we should not be the one who are responsible for adding more chaos and suffering for our people as leaders. That is the first point. The second point I want to make, and I want to be very clear here. You see, when you are staying in your own house and you are being punished, you are being maltreated, you will feel the pain. The type of things that you cannot do in your own house, you can do it in somebody else's own house. You can go to somebody else's own house, you clean the toilet, you do all types of things to get money. In your house, if they ask you to do that, it is going to be like they are punishing you. What am I trying to say? If La République du Cameroon is persecuting our people, does it mean we too should act in that persecution in the name that no, La République is persecuting them? So we can take any type of decision, even if it is going to pain them or not. Does that make sense? What is the logic in it? The people are they are the reason why we are in this thing. If they are the reason, every time we sit and think, it should be, how can we do something that will make them a little bit happy under this stress, happy under these difficulties? How can we make them see something and see us differently from those who have been persecuting us? To say truly, we need our own land, because if we have our own land, the way we are acting is going to be better than the way these other people are acting with us. So it's not even something somebody should come here and raise it up. Does it mean because La République is punishing our people, killing them, chasing children from school and raping them, we too should go and do the same thing? And say if the enemy is doing that to that same people, do the same thing? No, we need to act. We need to act better. They are our people. They are our people. They are for the reason we are fighting. They are for the reason we are sacrificing our energy, our time, and every other thing. So when we want to take a decision, that is what we are saying. We cannot even stop some groups because these things are done on papers and Facebook and WhatsApp. But we are saying that it has to stop for the good of the struggle. When you want to decide on something, ask yourself, what is the negative consequences of this decision? I've given one here. When you ask people to pay taxes, you give them receipt. Then GMI, gendarmes and military come and arrest them because they discover that they have paid taxes to you without receipt. Where are you to protect them? Because that's the reason you collect taxes. You are the authority. You are claiming that you are the authority. You are running them. They pay taxes to you. Where are you when the gendarmes, the army, the military, and the terrorists are attacking those people, arresting them, locking them up, and asking for money? Where are you to defend them? Were you able to think out that this will be the consequences of the suffering of these people if we impose this thing this way? Were you able to sit with the other leaders to find out how you can find a way where the people can contribute without you putting them at risk? Or you were just looking at the money, not looking at the humans who are behind that money that you are collecting from them? And then they face the consequences. And then we will say that, oh no, because it is war, since La Republic is doing this, we don't care, whatever happens, it is a consequence. No, that word consequences of war is totally wrong. When you know exactly what you are doing. When you know what you are doing, it's no longer the consequences of war. It is criminality. When you tell people to change the colors of their taxi, who runs the road? Where did they register the taxi? You want them to change the color. Are you the one who registered the taxi for them? Because the registration is still owned by La Republic. They still go to La Republic to register it. The council is still taking money from them. They're running the taxi. You ask them to change the color in the open. And then when they seize their taxis, where are you to go and remove it from those who have impounded it? These are the questions I'm asking. Why do you take these decisions when you are further risking the lives of the people and putting them in danger? You're not doing anything to free the homeland. You are turning the people against the rest of all the others for the work they are doing. Because they will not say it is Dr. Kwanga doing it. They will say, look at what those people who are abroad there, who are not suffering, see what they are doing. It becomes a problem. It becomes a problem. So that is the issue. We are not saying people should not take decisions. You need to think and ask yourself questions. It is vital. So we will not say that because La Republic is punishing our people, so we too should do things that will make them to suffer more. There is no logic in it. Lastly, in most wars, ours is a peculiar situation because this is the 21st century and the modern world. In most liberation wars we have seen, most of the leadership in the bush with the people. They're in the bush with the people where they can impose anything easily. If FARC is going to ask people to go to school, they will create school camps wherever they are and have those who are with them, who are teachers, to teach them. They don't care more about what exams they will write. All what they want to do is to make sure the children can learn to read and write and take care of themselves tomorrow after the war. That is the first thing they're thinking of. It's not about giving them certificates. So that is what they do. Now, between you and me, as we have said here, we are doing defiance. La Republic is still there. They run most of the stuff because even these community schools, these children go and register first school living certificate. It is not issued by you and me. GCE, they go there. Degree, even whether it's UB or where, they go there. They go to all of these places. That is the problem we have. So in taking a decision, my people, we should take all of those into consideration. We should not stop them from doing what they want to do, but we should always put the people first. We know we will come with all logic. I have said it is war. However, war, if the war means you should kill the very people you want to defend, then you should not fight that war. Then you have lost the objective of the war. That is very clear.
Thank you. So let's get some of these hands because we're going to be wrapping up. Dr. Epa, please come in, and then Francis and Jose.
Comrade, may I make a suggestion before the next person? I really believe so many people want to speak, but if one speaker takes...
Please, I think, sorry, please, Comrade Chris, we still have the issue of the demonstration on the 13th of, Friday 13th of September in New York. I think we need to move to that very fast because people have other things to do, and I've received some messages that people want us to wrap up with the meeting so that they can, today is Saturday. So if we can do that fast, then that will be good for us.
Yeah, and that is exactly what I was trying to suggest, that I think when people should have 1 minute to ask their question, and then if somebody is responding to it, should be 1 minute also, so that we can take people. All right. Who is speaking?
I think we should give the floor to those who have not asked questions.
Yeah.
And just please, if you don't have a question, allow those who have questions. Don't take the floor and start talking for long. We'll give room for those who want to make comments after we address the issue of New York. Thank you. So I think that, but there are no hands up.
No, there are hands up.
Dr. Epa.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
Dr. Epa, Comrade Francis, Jose, and then Liman, and then okay, I see Dr. Mwambe, yes. Go ahead, Dr. Epa.
Thank you very much, Comrade. I want to thank the Commission for this meeting and for the good work you did regarding school resumption. I think what I would have spoken, Dr. Kwanga has spoken it.
Dr. Chua is here. I don't know where to raise my hand, but if
Dr. Kwanga has already spoken what I would have spoken. If we make any decisions, the decision should be that which any prudent person will say yes, the decision has been well made. And if there are any mistakes, any prudent person will say that even he or herself would have done that mistake. If a particular group continuously come out with decisions which any prudent person will say that decision is not good, we should be very, very concerned about it. And that should be stopped. Just as Dr. Kwanga has spoken. This question of school resumption would not have gone this far, that we spent a lot of time in this meeting just trying to address one small thing that one person or one group decided to distance himself or themselves from a decision which they were part of it. This has to stop if we actually want to get to ground zero in a very short manner. It has to stop. There is no way out of it. We are giving the enemy the chance to say they do not know to whom they can speak. We are giving the enemies the chance to score goals against us. And this has to stop. It has to stop in any way. Thank you very much.
Coming, Francis.
Comrade, I think Chairman Ayaba announced that he is in, so maybe we suggest that after the hands, which are already up, then he has the floor.
Okay.
All right, Francis.
Thank you, comrades. I am Francis, speaking from South Africa. I do appreciate the work that the Consultative Commission is doing, and appreciating the leaders for attending this meeting and the press release that was sent out. I am an advocate for unity and collaboration right from the beginning, from the first day of this revolution, because I foresaw this chaos. I have been trying my best up to the last Canadian conference, still achieving the same results that the first conclave that we organized in Nigeria, second, trying to come together, is still giving the same results 8 years today. It's my primary concern as an advocate for unity and collaboration, because that is where our strength comes from. I always ask the question, you leaders, because I'm talking on the blood of our people, even it is my father I'm talking to. My father can never replace a drop of blood of our people. So I speak the truth without no fear or favor. I don't want to go far. We know the solutions. I will just say Ambazonia 1. How many governments? 6 governments. If I can start to name them, we know them all. You know what the international community, why they've abandoned us, looking at us as a people who cannot even manage themselves. Why should they waste their time? That's the problem we are facing. If we're talking with one voice, we should be in Boya by now. However, I don't want to go far. I appreciate you for coming together. What I want to see, or Ambazonia want to see from here, is to see that you, the leaders, the critical mass, because I had only 2 questions. They've been addressed already. I don't need for me to go to the questions. What Ambazonians will want to see is that when you come together like this, you continue in all fields, not only for school resumption, taking decisions and putting the people first, not your groups. You leaders are not here to defend, you are not because of your groups, you are because of the Ambazonian people. So put your groups aside, put your governments aside. Government for 8 years has given us no result but causing us harms. Put your governments aside because, yes, we believe in government, but government has done us more harm. All the groups, if the government could come together, speak with one voice, we should be back at home by now. So I just want to appreciate you people. What Ambazonia expect from you, you know the solutions. If you can search your consciences and give the answers to Ambazonian people, I will be very, very happy, and Ambazonia will be happy. If we can come together like this, send out a communique, the next step again, another leader or group is fighting another one. We know the group, one group that we are talking about here. I don't want to share my experience one-on-one with you people. So I'm just pleading again to you, the leaders who are here. Let's continue with a critical mass because of the blood and the suffering of our people, with those incarceration behind bars because of our struggle. We are out here free. We can sit in our bedrooms like this. We are talking from our bedrooms. We can take decisions, but we don't feel their pains. That their message is coming from Kondenge asking for food, which we were supposed to send money, but we were not able to send the money. Those that are dying, those in refugee camps, if we were thinking of them, we should not still today be talking of my government, my group, my group, my group. We should have surrendered ourselves together. Say, let's come together. Let's come together.
Comrade, I'm sorry. Comrade, I'm sorry, I'm not cutting you short, but you are in the right place, seeing the right thing. Why are you so worried?
So, no, that's why I said I'm the right place, telling my mind, because I will always tell my mind when this struggle is concerned, one-on-one, face-to-face, when we meet one-on-one. I will not mix my words. We don't need to play politics when the blood of our people are flowing. So I'm appealing to you from here, what we Ambazonians are expecting to see or to hear, you coming together, putting not government first, not my group, not myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, comrade. Jose, please come in. Let's stick to the 1 minute, please. Thank you.
Yes, Comrade Chaps. Thank you very much. I'm very thrilled seeing all of you here today. I'm very, very happy. Mola, good evening. All of you.
Hey, Jose.
Yeah. I'm very, very thrilled, man. Look, I think I will sleep very well today because the last speaker, Comrade Francis Mba, just spoke my mind. But I will assure the Ambazonians, all of you here, that I will sleep very, very well. This is what we've been missing for quite a long time. But there's one critical question I'd like to ask you. How often will you people be meeting? I would like to know that. How often will you be meeting? Not meeting today or tomorrow, then after 1 year they'll meet again. That will not solve the problem. We would like you people to be meeting as frequent as possible. Is it not so, Comrade Chaps?
Yes, I was just going to tell you that they are meeting, and that is part of the work that the consultative team is working on, trying to make sure. We know that they have other work that they are doing, but they are meeting as much as they can. And if we don't have to come spend time explaining decisions, they will have time to meet more and focus on what you people are saying they should do.
That's great. So as I said, I'm really relieved, and there is a problem that all of us will be talking about. I don't know why people don't want to call that mold in the house, and we have to smoke out. You see, at times we used to ask ourselves, are these people really fighting for Amazonia? Or are they agents of I don't know, of the other party? Because you cannot be touching people's taxi all over the town, and you want those people to keep on supporting. That is, and with that that word they call blacklegs. That word, the word blacklegism is being created by such acts. I'm happy that Dr. Che Ayaba is in this house today. He should listen to me. Dr. Che Ayaba, please try to calm down, tone down, think, reason. You have good ideas, but you lack reason. If you reason a lot, you will achieve a lot. You cannot be, when you want to show that you have power, it means you are insecure. You see, like Trump is too insecure. Though he's trying to show that he is powerful, he's not powerful, he's just insecure. So please, calm down. Let's push this thing to boil. Join your brothers. These people who are here, join them. Take good decisions with them and put it to the Amazonian people. Then we will succeed. Brothers, thank you, people. I yield.
Thank you, Comrade Joe. Let's quickly go to, I saw Dr. Where Comrade Liman's hand is up, then you have Dr. Nwame and Mike, and we'll end it there for now. So, and then we have a quick comment on the protest that should be taking place in September with regards to the UN General Assembly, that we want to encourage people to turn out as much as possible to support that effort. Liman, please go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, Liman, please.
Yeah, so I want to start by sending my salutes to my elder brothers and all the family members gathered here. And I want to just go straight to the point and ask a simple question. My question is going to go first to Brother Akwanga. Then my next question is going to go to Brother Chris. And my last question is going to go to all of us. So the first question, Brother Akwanga, today we are in a situation where we have multiple voices speaking. We have disorganization in the revolution. We have people passing conflicting orders and stepping on the rights of our people on the ground. You, as the father of self-defense, what responsibility do you think you hold in this chaos going on? And what are the steps you think needs to be taken to address this problem and bring us to where we were before 2016, where we all gathered together not to support a group, an individual, but to support the Republic of Southern Cameroon and help you guys liberate the land? That's my question to Brother Akwanga. My question to Brother Chris. Brother Chris Anu, before you became leader of a IG, you were for Amazonia. Today, you are fighting your best to maintain your own organization. Don't you think that this war about leadership is what is causing our people to disengage from the relationship, from the restoration process? And also, when we come together as a people, you guys are the one who introduced the idea of groups. We came to support the Republic of Amazonia, our country. You guys introduced groups, and now our people have been divided. It is not done by the Republic, it's done by group heads. You guys have to accept responsibility, stop proliferating these groups, and let us reason as a people. Let us set up a structure like ANC, which you guys used to teach us about, that have a structure. We have diplomats, we have people who take care of refugees, we have people doing self-defense, whatever they are doing, It's not for me to decide, but I think it's high time you guys accept responsibility for the things you have, the mistakes you have made, and don't generalize it, and come back and let us start from scratch. If not, we're gonna lose the war, and all of us are gonna die in exile. And my last question is to all of us. Again, what is the problem we have with ourselves? Do we hate ourselves that much? How many boys have died? How many people are suffering? Again, what is most important? Is it for us to come together and raise the funds and the resources and support the restoration, or is it maintaining your small position as group leaders, group heads? Again, imagine that if everybody has to decide to declare himself a leader, how will the society work? No, we need to have structures that designate. If it's about school resumption, we need to have a council sit and decide and vote. If the people who are not against school resumption, they lost the vote, they let it go and the school resume. By the way, I don't see how school resumption or no school resumption is going to restore our statehood. So we have to stop and be honest with ourselves. If we want to fight, we fight. If we want to surrender, we surrender. What we should not do is subject ourselves to this constant suffering and misery. I yield. Thank you guys very much for coming out.
Okay, comrade, thank you for that. And just to put some pointers into what you've asked, I think you came in a bit late. The leaders took time at the beginning to explain a lot of things that respond to the questions that you've posed both to Dr. Akwanga and to Chris. And I think in the very sense of them being in this meeting, put together by the Consultative Commission, which is not a group, but which is working on the basis of what the people have recommended, and they, the leaders, have agreed should bring them together to consult each other. I think that is already addressing the questions you're posing to them individually. So by they being here, by they participating in this enterprise, by they supporting it, I think that they have proven that they are willing and have the openness and care about the people to do what is right, as you say. But I'll leave it to them to add any thing that they would like to add.
For me, Comrade Lima, I will not give you any answer on anything that deals with self-defense here. I have to be very objective. I will not be able to respond to you on that. That does not mean things are not working. You see where I am? You see why the network is shifting from left to right? I am not in North America. I am far away from home with Chef who is sitting beside me. I track him all here. He's here with me. And we are far away, and it's because of the struggle. So we are out of it. I almost died of catarrh because of this particular trip. So I won't talk about that, but rest assured that we'll be able to find a more concise manner to discuss this issue. Self-defense is not a public issue. I will never, ever try that type of thing to put it out there. Now, lastly, I want you to understand one thing. The people never in any liberation struggle free themselves. There could be a people revolution where the people rise up. And most often, it is to carry out what we call internal self-determination, to change the system of governance. Anything that deals with external self-determination, which is what we are trying to look for, to go back and restructure our own homeland, you will always find groups. The only unfortunate thing is that the 21st century has given us the opportunity where, with the tick of somebody's cell phone, you can create a group. You create anything, get 2 or 3 people, and they start shouting. Even it might be one person, he writes all the communiques. Nobody will care. So those things are there. So we will be able to talk about those things. The rest assured, we are here not because we love one another. We are bound to work together. If we're going to free ourselves, we must work together. It has nothing to do with love. That is the way it works. Yeah, we'll work together whether we like it or not. And that is why we say, if someone is tired, you just give up. So we'll continue to work together. But we will not always be here online. Rest assured you will not. If the consultative team has something very important that they need to talk, they will have a meeting and come and discuss with you people. But if you are going to expect that the leaders will always come online, no, we have passed that time. We need to be strategic behind the scene and do the right thing. We are only here because a strategic stuff behind the scene took the wrong care. That is why we are here. Thank you.
Comrade Chris, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, sure. I don't know why Comrade Lehman is very worried about divisions here and there when he is seated in a unity platform, which is exactly what he wants to see. And I don't know whether he was suggesting that I should have given up the leadership of the interim government because other people did things to divide the interim government. Of course not. And I also think it is always very disingenuous when people speak in generalized terms. The interim government is in different fractions. I don't need to explain why. Everybody here knows why and understand how it is where it is. If you blame me for being part of it, so be it. But I think I have done the best that I can to keep it together. I don't think there is anybody here, and I'm not trying to project myself here. I don't think there is anybody here who has fought for us coming together as I have done since taking over the leadership of the interim government. But Comrade Lehman, we are in the right place. We are in the right direction. I just hope that you be part of it, support it, as we want everybody to do. This is what we all want. Let's all come on board. Let's end the criticism of the interim government, this interim government, that APLM this, APLM that. We are on the right footing at the moment. Let's keep criticism placed behind us and see what we can make out of this. Ground Zero is very excited when they see us come together as we do now. Even when we send out that statement from this group, I receive hundreds of messages and phone calls congratulating that at least finally we all came together to take a decision. And I still hear the sentiments, even in this house, that, somebody literally said he's going to sleep better tonight because of it. We are on the right footing. Let us move on, please, and build it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wambi, and then Comrade Mike, and then we will wrap up.
Yeah, Comrade Chefs and
yes,
the consultative, Comrade Chefs and the consultative team. I want to greet all of you, and I want to greet my fellow Ambazonians who are watching back at home and in the diaspora. Let me first start by appreciating all the different liberation movements and their leaders who are here. This has been a long time coming, and though we're not 100% there, it is good that we are learning to crawl so that we'll eventually stand and then begin to walk the walk of collaboration and being in a meaningful coalition front. So I really want to appreciate you guys for, making this effort. As my brother, Dr. Akwanga, correctly pointed out, you don't have to be in love with your fellow Ambazonian to collaborate with them. You don't. And I've even said that. I remember in the Unity hall that Comrade Chris is talking about, that's something I pointed out. I don't have to be in love with you to be able to collaborate with you, but knowing that you want Ambazonia and I want Ambazonia, I am willing to collaborate with you. That is what is important. And I see all of you leaders of organizations who are present here. I see that in all of you, and I want to appreciate you all for that. And I want to say more grease to your elbows. And as much as you may disagree and have criticisms for one another, for whatever issue, always find a way to be able to sit and talk. And again, appreciation to the consultative team, Dr. Fontem, Chevs, Mike Fusi, Mark Gertrude, Dr. Florentine, all of you who are there who have created this environment where all these organizations can come together and talk. Now, when it comes to this issue of, groups and all this other stuff like that, I don't really know what Ambazonians want. Most Ambazonians don't want anyone to tell them someone else to tell them what to do. That's why a lot of these groups and organizations exist. Even if we were under one single umbrella or how things were back in the day, at some point, if something happens, you're going to end up in the individual factions. As a matter of fact, what brought even together what was known as the IG back then had its individual groups that helped make up that IG that were in the Restoration Council. They were all part of individual groups. So this issue of groups, to me, it doesn't really matter. We're not the first liberation struggle that has had factions, and they still ended up being brought together and achieved the liberation of their country. For those of you who don't know, go and read the history of South Sudan, Eritrea, our brothers in Zimbabwe. Everyone has had factions. So this is not a strange thing to Ambazonia. So I don't really see the point of it always being people using it to beat up the leaders. The most important thing is that we need to find a way to be talking to each other, consulting with each other, and finding a way for all of us to move forward. That is what is important. With that in mind, I have two questions for all the leaders who are participating with the consultation committee. And that is, first question is, what are you all doing, or what do you think is even feasible given our circumstances? Because you know we are in difficult circumstances. What do you think is feasible, or what are you doing to make sure that the discussions, the deliberations, the decisions that you all go through are not possibly corrupted or blinded by what we know as groupthink? For those who don't know what groupthink is that type of a situation where, because all of you are present, ideas start going in one particular direction and everyone gets tunnel vision and they only end up focusing on the rosy, good results, and they don't take into consideration the, poor outcomes that are possible or plausible. So what are you all doing to make sure you look at, when you're coming to a decision, when you're debating something, what are you all doing to look at it from all angles and make sure you cover our bases to the best of our ability? And then finally, what is your policy on how other organizations that are out there can come be a part of this consultative committee deliberations that you all are engaged in? Because one of the things that we always hear out there is that this is not going to work unless everybody and their mother is a part of the consultations. And we know that you can only work with those who are willing to work, and everybody will not always be willing to be on board. But what is your policy towards appealing to those organizations that may be on the outside? And maybe this would be a good opportunity for all of you who are participating to actually make a statement appealing to those people who may not be here. I yield. And again, thank you all for your efforts.
Okay. Doc, just because of the time.
Yes, let me quickly say that the questions, Comrade, Comrade Ngombe, yes, Dr. Ngombe has asked very pertinent questions, but I think they take us back to the foundation of the consultative process, where all the leaders were consulted, people were informed of what was going on, and that we eventually brought our results to the knowledge of Southern Cameroonians, and on the basis of what Southern Cameroonians requested in the presence of many of these leaders, we have started implementing them. So what we must realize is that what we are doing is a process that has already begun. It is a process that is rooted in discussions that have been held with communities, with political organizations, with a cross section of the people of Southern Cameroon. And so it is an Ambazonian phenomenon. So we are not exclusive. The consultative process is not exclusive. It is inclusive. It is transparent. And these leaders sitting here have agreed that from time to time, they will come out when issues like this arise and have a conversation with the people of the Southern Cameroons. And one of the messages that we have received, if people are asking whether we are going to make this town hall a permanent thing. Now, the consultation team will take the matter up with these leaders and discuss so that we can agree on how often the leaders can organize town halls so that critical issues, orientational matters can be discussed with the people of Southern Cameroon so that at least a cross-section of the people have a clear view of what is going on. But it is important to realize that in as much as these leaders are in here, there are others who have been briefed fully on what the consultation process is all about and who have been given the option to join or not to join. And some have preferred to go back and start their own consultation. So but we are not stopping anybody from doing it. But what we are doing is that we are bringing the leaders for every international outing or contacts that we are making. We involve the leaders, we inform them of what we are doing. Whenever we receive any correspondence, after discussing with the technicians, we bring the discussions to the leaders and we tell them that this is what we have received, this is what we have done, and this is what our technicians have done. These are the options before us. So you leaders, what is your input and how do we go ahead? The good thing is that these leaders agree that it is better for us to make a mistake collectively, then it is easier for us to resolve it collectively than for an individual to make a mistake when others will not be able to assist him correct that mistake. So it is a spirit that has come into the liberation movement, and we are urging all Southern Cameroonians of good faith not to lock themselves in their cocoons, because when you see these people will eventually, whatever the things that we do, the leaders take it back to their organizations. This does not prescribe organizations. Organizations continue to function. Some of the issues that organizations have, they bring some of their ideas and they suggest it to the Consultative Commission, and all the leaders together discuss, and they now assign those who are in charge to go out and run after it and find out if it is possible to achieve this particular idea. So I think it is a very constructive way. But those who must join this group must accept that they are going to be transparent. It is going to be inclusive, and once it is inclusive, you know that you're not going to come and dictate your opinion on others. You will allow that, and then the decisions that we take will be based on a consensus. And consensus requires that you have to compromise. You have to look at other views and see that, okay, if it is not going to work this way, then I cannot keep insisting that it must work that way. So let me also see what others can do so that all of us are moving together. And that is how we came. We've done many other things. We've done many other things. We are preparing for a leadership summit where all the leaders will go, where they sit down at the leadership summit. Some of the work that we have done, they will review it there, and then they will come out and they will make a major statement for all the people of the Southern Cameroons. Let me also, on behalf, Chaps, with your permission, let me also inform the people that there is a lot of background diplomatic work that is going on. There's a lot of background diplomatic work that is going on. We feel greatly encouraged. It is just that we cannot come and start blowing our trumpet on the stage. The leaders are aware, and they are giving us a lot of advice. They are giving us a lot of counsel. There are times that we kick against something and they tell us, no, Mark, them Chaps and their team, you people need to go back and fix it. Go back and accept. Don't deny. We don't stop. We cannot say we will not talk to somebody. Go back and talk to them. And so it is so far so good. I would just pray that we should keep our fingers crossed, continue to pray, and believe that all of us are servants in this liberation struggle. That is the spirit that exists now. We are all servants. And if we serve our people honestly, faithfully, and diligently, then our journey will be a shorter one. I think it
All
takes
right, Comrade Mike, come in, and Dr. Taylor, welcome. Comrade Mike, come in, and then we'll let Dr. Taylor give us a word since he's here, and we'll wrap up.
Thank you, thank you, Comrade Chips.
And let's keep it brief.
All right, thank you, Comrade Chips. Yes, I would like to first of all thank all who have taken the time to be present during this meeting, because I believe that it is only by talking to each other that we'll be able to, first of all, understand each other and be able to bridge the differences that exist between us. Having said that, I'm sure that we have all watched a certain video of CPDM militants in Mamfe marching and calling for Paul Biya to stand for another term as president of the Republic of Cameroon. Not that we have any concern with that, but when it's coming from amongst our people, then there's a problem. And I wonder if those images mean anything to us, because if we are honest to ourselves, we have not seen this for quite some time in the southern Cameroon and Bazillion, where CPDM militants come out boldly to make such statements. And do we understand why that is happening now? What that means to us and our liberation quest? Now, the question is this: if we were to draw a graph that shows the support level that we have had since the start of this, I'm sorry for the background noise, since the start of this liberation quest, if we were to draw a graph that shows the support level that we have had from the beginning up to now, do we think it will be an upward graph showing an increase in support, or would there be a decline in support? If you are someone who is managing a company and year after year after year, you notice that the profit margin of that company is declining, it is only responsible for you as the boss of that company.
Comrade,
yes.
Comrade, I'm sorry, we are live, and I don't think what you are articulating is good for public consumption or for everybody. I think you could, what you are raising could be raised within the leaders only, because we don't want to feed people with something that sounds like negative. Is not good. I don't think this is the right forum to raise that particular point. Let's take it within us and talk about it. If you have other areas to discuss.
Okay, let me come at it this way. I think we don't have to invent the wheel. What I'm trying to say is we don't have to invent the wheel when it comes to how this struggle is managed. The question is this: when we look at how other liberation movements have been managed, for example, Eritrea, South Africa, we see the war going on between Hamas and Israel. How do these movements treat their people? That's the question I want us to examine. Do they go out and inflict painful measures that cause pain to the same people they are trying to liberate, and yet expect to have the support of those people for what they are fighting for? Because sometimes we have to look ourselves in the mirror and examine our actions to see if what we are doing is actually in line with the objectives of what we claim to be fighting for. It serves no purpose for us to go out and ask for a change of taxi colors, liberation tax, other ransom-taking efforts out there that go to inhibit the support that we ought to be having from our people. Because let's not make any mistake, we can do anything out here. If our people on the ground are not in support of this liberation movement, we are wasting our time. It will not work. And that is what we need to understand. Because we can sit here and talk on TV and pass motions, but once our people completely turn their backs on this thing, it is done. And that is why you see the CPDM being emboldened to come out and march, as we saw this past week. And I don't know if we have we have observed the deafening silence on the ground. Hardly do you hear of the kind of actions that we used to hear before. As a matter of fact, each time we hear of something, it is something that is hurting our people and not hurting the enemy. And let us forget about this hyperbole that we continue to say we are winning. We are not winning, people. We are not winning. Okay? And until we realize that and know that we're going down the wrong road, this thing will not work. I don't want to come out and paint a rosy picture here that does not exist. It doesn't exist. It is time for anybody who calls himself or herself a leader to smell the copy and start making the right decisions. Because it's not going, it's not working. Okay.
Yes.
Now we know what the right thing is. We know what the right thing is. Nobody sitting here can say they don't know what the right thing is. What is stopping us is our ego. And when you put your ego against ahead of what is good for the people, then you are not fighting for the people. Let us do what is right. The leaders need to come together in the nearest future and put out a plan that will bring back the support that is needed to win this thing. And when people come together, my last point, when people come together and they sit down and discuss and agree on something, the will of the majority should count. It does not mean that when you come together with others, it is only your will and your will only that must prevail. Because if we insist on that model, then we may as well give up on this thing, because that's not what we're fighting for. And that's my last point. Thank you.
Please, let me just add on his point, please.
We will take your comment, our lady who's raising your voice. Please go ahead. Let's make it 1 minute so that we can wrap up also.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So what I wanted to say is that we are fighting for independence and freedom. But the leaders, they seem to have forgotten the part of the freedom, and they are only going for independence. They forget that even after we have independence and we don't have the freedom, we are still coming back to fight for freedom. Why I say this is because when you force people, when people do not have the freedom to make the choice which type of car they should drive, the color of their car, and you claim that you are fighting for them, then the people, they start seeing you differently. The colors of the cars that people drive back there, the people, they take responsibility on those colors, because when the police, they catch them, and they are the people who are going to pay, they are going, the people to take the responsibility. So we cannot come out, use our guns, use the power that we have, and force people to change colors, to carry colors which they have to carry responsibility. At a point, we are behaving like Cameroon. If we look at where we are coming from, for 60 years, Cameroon, they sign a decree, and the people, they don't like that decree. And Cameroon, they will use the guns that they have and their military to force the people to take it. So when we say people should change the taxi colors, and the people are hesitant, we are supposed to take a break and even say, but how is this going to help us? Aren't these people free to choose the colors of the cars that they want to drive? But because we have guns, we use those guns to force the people to change colors, and now they have to bear the consequences. When we do those things, the people now, they start living the liberation fight, because now it is not in their favor. I say this because, okay, I pay my liberation tax. I pay my liberation tax, but I'm going to fall back now because just last month I had to spend money to get relatives' cars which have been impounded. So when I spend that money to get those cars which are impounded, then you still come after me to pay the liberation tax. Why do you think I'm going to get that money? So I'm just saying that in as much as the leaders, they are fighting, they should not forget what they are fighting for. Freedom first, independence we accept. So, and no, and look at where we are coming from, how Cameroon has treated us. Stop treating us like Cameroon, because when you keep treating us like Cameroon, we are going to abandon you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that powerful commentary. Dr. Taylor, please close us with the, yes, give us the last comments. I know you just came in.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Chaps. Thank you to the entire team. I want to greet everyone who made it a rendezvous to be online with us today. To those on Ground Zero, receive a salutation from the APLM Secretariat and to the entire staff that is working here. I want to say to all the members that had, or to all of us that had the chance to lay our complaints here, the committee has a listening ear. We are listening and we are with the people both on Ground Zero and abroad. And if you've noticed, this issue of leaders keep coming up, and even in the comment, people have asked a lot of questions. Those that are throwing insult are throwing insult. And I forgot to welcome those our brothers from the other side of the Mongo that are watching and listening. You are welcome as well. The leaders and the groups in this struggle are here to shape the struggle. If we believe that we can dissolve all the movements and the groups in our homeland and focus on one single group to take this fight to the end, then that's the beginning of failure. It is easy for us to work as a community and push our ideologies forward and liberate our people. But what we should discourage here is the idea of believing that it is our idea or not or nothing. It is either our way or the highway that will work. Just like what my sister said earlier, look at the idea of the taxis on Ground Zero. Believe you me, our people on Ground Zero, we are working on it. The leaders sitting here are working on this thing of taxi color because it has brought nothing but pain to our people. And we did not start this, we did not get into this to bring more pain to our people. We have been suffering for the past 60-something years in the hands of the enemy, and it brings us no pleasure to see that you on Ground Zero, you continue to suffer. We are working to alleviate the suffering. We are working to make sure that this tax issue, because it makes no sense that somebody would pay his so-called tax today, and we don't even see what the tax money is doing or where it is going, or in which coffers the money is being sent to. An individual cannot sit and set up something and call it a law. No, this is an issue of the people of Ambazonia, and we'll have to treat it as an Ambazonian issue. So rest assured, we are working on it. Everyone sitting here is working on it day in, day out, and will come up with a solution. And to the international community, we are appealing that you stop supporting what you know it is wrong to help La République foster with the killing and the suffering of the people of Ambazonia. It is not helping. Once again, I don't have much to say. I know a lot have been said. I just want to thank all of us for coming. And yes, we will be making this a regular thing so that we can talk among ourselves. And let's, us as Ambazonians, focus on the struggle. Let's go back to where we used to be in the beginning of this phase of the fight. to see that we can push things, we can push this to the finish line. Our boys back home need us. We want to talk about self-defense. This is not the place to talk about self-defense. Our numbers, the numbers of the leaders are open. Call them. Let's talk behind the scene, how to work with these boys. These boys are willing to keep doing what they've been doing for the past 8 years, but they need our support day in, day out. It is very difficult for an individual alone to be supporting a group of volunteers on the ground for 7, 8 years. We need our people to come back. We understand some of us are frustrated because they did put in a lot in the beginning with the hope that something will happen. There was nothing happen, but this time around, there will be accountability and we're gonna see action. So, to our fellow fighters, as the saying goes, on a place day. Once again, thank you all, and thank you for organizing this.
Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Taylor. I think before I read some of the comments that we have received, I would like
my hands is still up, please. I just beg for a few minutes. I've been putting my hands here.
Please, we have to wrap up. Sorry, we will be able to do this again, but we can't go on forever.
Okay,
So
let me say what I have to say. I was just
no,
that
when we say we have,
you
please,
can't
let's
tell me I
respect
didn't
the
come
stage.
here just to listen. Can you listen to me? Come on. I come here
But
to
you
spend my
already
hour just to
spoke. You already spoke, so please listen to me.
I haven't spoken anything here.
Well, there are others whose hands are up who we are not taking every question.
There's one thing going on here. Comrade Ayaba announced his presence here. Why can't we bring him to answer to some of these accusations?
Where is
We should not be
Comrade
behaving
Ayaba?
like children.
Well,
Where is Comrade Ayaba?
So we're not going to run. No, Dr. Fontaine, let me be clear. We're not going to run the meeting as people want. We are going to coordinate the meeting in the way that we've set out to coordinate the meeting. So there are others here who have their hands up, who have acceded to the plea that we have run this meeting for so long, and so we'll make time to have other conversations. So if others have done so, why must you want to speak?
And there are a lot of issues that have been raised here.
I think let us move on. No pedagogy. I want to quote from Frere's Pedagogy of the Deprived.
It's just
no
so one-sided.
pedagogy which is truly liberating can remain distant from the oppressed by treating them as unfortunates and by presenting for their emulation models from among the oppressors. The oppressed must be their own example in the struggle for their redemption. The oppressed must be their own example in the struggle for their redemption. So if our goal is freedom, we must make sure that the oppressed have their freedom and look different and let their lives be different from what it was under La République du Cameroun. Let me quickly read some of the comments that have come in. Is it possible that we can go ahead without those people who keep dragging us behind? What is the point? Making 5 steps ahead and 6 backwards every time. Another comment, let me thank these leaders for a change of heart. This is what we have been waiting for. We cannot defeat La République du Cameroun if there is no unity amongst us. Next comment, I see that everybody wants to issue a communique about school resumption, even those who caused the confusion among us. Let them come to ground zero and speak. Another one says, must we allow these people who carry themselves around as presidents to continue to mess our search for freedom? And the last one is it possible for the leaders to continue to do this good work without frustration? Is it possible for us to have these town halls on a regular basis? I'm sure that these questions are not to be answered now. The leaders will confer among themselves, and the Consultative Commission will will let the public know when they decide in due course. But I think that it is possible for I think Dr. Taylor has hinted on that it is feasible. The last thing that we wanted to talk about today was the demonstration at the United Nations. At the next...
Dr. Fontem, please address this question. Did you kick out Dr. Cho Ayaba? Please, because...
No, please. So when we went to, during one of the discussions of the leaders, the leaders decided that, the leaders consulted and thought that it would be interesting to have the United Nations understand that Mr. Young Philemon does not represent the people of Southern Cameroon, because that is the design of La République du Cameroun in trying to get Young Philemon as chairperson of the UN General, as president of the UN General Assembly. So the leaders have already said something about that. Comrade Crisano said something about that. And if Chairman Kometa were here, I'm sure that we could have had more details. But the event is going to be on the 13th of September 2024 at 10 o'clock in the morning. We will run our demonstration from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And we are advising that people can buy cheap tickets. Cheap tickets. If you are looking for a ticket, search for your ticket incognito. Incognito. If you go to the incognito section of your Google or whatever application you are using to look for your ticket, search for it incognito, because if you look for a ticket now, when you come and touch it again, they will increase the price for you. So if you want to find very cheap tickets from wherever you are, if you are far away, you can get tickets for up to $80. If you are buying 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time, you can get tickets for $100, to and fro, 120. Yeah, so you can get cheap tickets. So one of the things that we want to prove is that we want to let the international community know that Young Philemon does not speak for us. He does not represent the people of the Southern Cameroons, and that our goal is for our total freedom. Thank you. So I think we want to thank all our people who will make the discussion available to, will make the discussion related to the United Nations protests available in the days ahead, after we would have gotten a specific clearance from the leaders, and I think our discussion will continue. Once again, we want to thank everybody who came, and God bless you. Chaps, maybe you want to have the last word.
Comrade. Comrade.
Yes, Comrade Chris.
Yeah, please, I don't know if Chairman Ayaba is in here. I think he should have at least a minute or two to say something, because...
Yeah, we called him. Comrade Chef said he was going to speak, but I don't know how come he did not. We did not see him again.
Because I have checked in here, like, I don't know, like 10 times. I don't know why.
Yes, probably there's a network problem where he is. So.
Or he went out, but in any event, comrades, we've been here for some time now, so I think you will also be unfair for other people. So subsequently, once things have been sorted out, because we should also be very real. You know, Chairman Ayaba has to reach out to these leaders that he spoke against, and smooth those things out before trying to come into a public forum where the leaders have been scheduled to speak, to make comments. Those are the kinds of things that create the problems that we face in this struggle. And people sometimes just tend to underlook this. You cannot go out and make denigrating comments on leaders that you met with and agreed with, and then you don't do an outreach to them in the back if you thought there was something you have to do. And you want to show up in a public forum and expect that you just speak. In spite of me saying this, nobody kicked him out. But these are the types of things that we do, and they are just grammar that we create to create chaos in this forum. And I think, as we said, it's high time we stop tolerating this type of behaviors. So there is going to be an opportunity. He knows the right thing to do. And subsequently, we, as the consultative team, it's not a group, it's a forum for everybody to consult and give a way for the leaders to talk among themselves and do what is right for the people of Amazonia. So that should happen. And subsequently, we should be able to have all the leaders in here talking and taking questions from the people. So thank you, everybody. We thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. I think we've had a good day, and we pray that when the next meeting comes up, please share the links and then invite your peers to be part of it. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.